It's an age-old story, the one at the center of all competition. In Major 3 on EU, it became clear. After slowly building season over season, a new crop of stars rule the region, which came at a time where Fortnite competitive needed storylines, as the game was in the midst of one of its weakest seasons ever, one that many players despised.
Yeah, I will not be playing this season.
One of the biggest storylines this season is players deciding to switch from EU to NA.
This shift became glaring to everyone when stars like Tini, Pinq, and Vanya all decided to play Major 3 on NA. But this was brewing for over a year, when an FNCS champion on Asia, Swizzy, moved to EU and within 2 seasons won FNCS.
The duo that rocked our world and rocked the lobby too. These guys have shown us really what it means to be champions.
In Major 2 this year, he would team up with one of the region's most talented and up-and-coming players, Vanya, and together they would dominate. During this season, another player would continue to make a name for himself on what most consider Fortnite's hardest region, Tini. But before we move forward, like, sub, and use code WeClutchUp in the Fortnite item shop. Tini made a name for himself in last year's Major 3 when he placed 3rd.
Tini and Misha just placed 3rd in the biggest Fortnite tournament of Chapter 4 Season 3, landing here.
Although the far greater point of emphasis was he and his duo Misha's unconventional strategy, where they camped on different teams' loot paths. After back-to-back disappointing placements in the Global Championship and Major 1, Tini decided it was time to find a new duo, joining with a 15-year-old Swiss prodigy named Chap. Not that Chap. He began competing in 2023 and slowly made a name for himself as he began earning in cash cups.
Ready, wir sind so gut! Digga, let's go! Let's go!
But in Major 2 this year, he went stratospheric when he duoed with Tini, basically a sure top 5 in every cash cup, on the back of a very aggressive but highly skilled playstyle, dominating a round of semifinals, and placing 2nd in grand finals, a meteoric rise, firmly establishing themselves among the EU's new era of stars. But there is one duo who were on a generational heater going into grand finals, and put the region on notice. Vico and Flickie. Vico's competitive rise has been remarkable. Fortnite god, who began seriously competing at the end of 2021 in Season 8, quickly emerging as one of the region's best fighters.
100%. I'm really good at fighting, so...
And just 1 season later, in Chapter 3 Season 1, he was competing in grand finals, placing 28th. But Season 2 would be even better. He would place 7th in grand finals, proving his early success on one of the world's hardest regions was no fluke, earning an invite to the FNCS Global Championship with Mirai.
Talented player and an even more experienced player side by side,
where he finished 28th, capping off an incredible year where he went from $2,000 to $70,000 earned. In 2023, his meteoric rise continued. At Red Bull contested the first solo land in over a year, he dominated.
Because if they fight me, I'm just gonna run over them.
Go from above, a nice connection, not enough just yet, but Vico, he is making it work, and Cammy will be eliminated.
10 elimination of Victory Royale.
Oh, but he is looking for opportunities.
Comes in.
Into a big 150, he does not miss those.
In front of his insanely supportive family.
I have no life, no own life. My life is my boy. Go Vico, go, you know our code. Go Vico, go. Go Vico, go. Go Vico, go. Go Vico, go.
He beat out 98 of the world's best players to win his first LAN and the only major solo LAN of the year.
To play this game, it's going to be his victory lap. It's going to be so good for Vico. He doesn't know it yet, but that is everything he needed in this game. This could be the game of his life. He'll have dreams about this one over and over again. There's a couple players now standing in his way, and it looks like he's going to do it here again in game number 8. Breaking into a box, hitting another shot. How many times has Vico done that today? No builds remaining, and so he's going to have to pick up the play in the zone. He sees it coming. It's Vico's day. It's Vico's world. We're just living in it. He's up against Cammy. He's done this fight before, but will he win this out? It's Vico. It is Vico. It is all Vico, your Red Bull contested champion. Vico!
What a way to close out the day in first place with a victory royale.
It does not get better than that. That is what you live for as a competitor in this game.
Players from all over the world stood in his way. The first ever Red Bull contested champion is Vico!
He carried this momentum into Major 3, where he teamed up with one of the game's best IGLs, Pinq. The pressure was on as they sought to be one of 10 duos that would qualify for globals that year. After 3 strong qualifying weeks that culminated in a week 3 first, they came into grand finals with great momentum. Momentum they converted to a respectable 8th, enough to qualify for the global championship, where they put up another strong performance, even winning a match on lower bracket.
Comes in through the side, down he goes, and it's now a 2v2.
That's gone, and Pingu at the bottom, and fall damage is real on the Vico, but he gets the trade at the bare minimum, and Pinq and Vico take the game. That could have been it.
Placing 10th, continuing his rise. Going into 2024, he was ready to take the next step, his first FNCS win. In Major 1, he and Pinq picked up where they left off, winning a qualifying week and a semi-finals round, placing 5th in grand finals. Although they played really well at the start of Major 2, winning both qualifying weeks and a round of semi-finals, things came unstuck in grand finals, finishing in 32nd and ultimately splitting, a duo that showed such incredible flashes but had hit its ceiling. Pinq moved to NA to compete with Miro, paving the way for Vico to team up with another incredible fragger, Flickzy. Flickzy began competing in 2020, but it wouldn't be until Chapter 3 Season 2 where he would make his first grand finals, going on to make every one since then, highlighted by a 6th in Major 2 in 2023 with Gripe. Like Vico, he played well in the Global Championship, placing 12th. And like Vico, he teamed up with the legendary IGL, the 3-time champion, Janus. But it did not quite translate to grand final success. After placing 20th in Major 2, they split, joining Vico with a chance to make history. These two incredibly skilled players were brought together by Coach Raz, who was looking to compete the success of his North American clients Peterbot and Pollo, who had built an optimal strategy based on their fighting prowess. Though it was different than Peter and Pollo, who just took the strongest drop spot, Mythic, and Medallion. Vico and Flickie landed a tier 2 drop spot, Reckless Railways, a large POI with lots of loot near the middle of the map, which they had uncontested. They were next to a forecast tower, which no one dared contest them for either. This strategy worked, as leading into grand finals, they put up one of the most dominant seasons ever, winning 3 cash cups, placing 5th in one and 3rd in another. Needless to say, expectations were high.
Vico Flickie's form is unrivaled, I think, going into the FNTasia grand finals, probably looking like the best team on paper.
This was setting up to be an amazing and region transforming FNCS. But its ability to get the attention it deserved was held back by 2 things: the controversial season and the migration of EU's most popular players to NA. So, did people like Chapter 5 Season 3?
No! No! No!
It was polarizing, and that's putting it lightly. It added a desert punk themed biome with 3 new POIs. At Redline Rig, there was a Mythic Combat Assault Rifle and a Medallion that regenerated shield up to 75. At Brutal Beachhead, there was an Infinite Nitro Effect Medallion and a Mythic Combat Shotgun. At Nitro Dome, there was a Mythic Explosive Crossbow and a Medallion that gave unlimited ammo. However, while the map changes were decent, the meta and loot pool were unpopular, and in some cases just downright despised. The Nitro Splashes allowed players to run through walls and do damage. The Nitro Fists, which were mostly balanced as a mobility item, but broken as an offensive weapon. The ensuing titanic clash on social media between the so-called sweats and the so-called casuals on whether the season was good led to the word adapt becoming extremely overused. In the heat of the blowback, Fortnite made some questionable patching decisions. The Nitro Splash was nerfed sufficiently, and the Nitro Fists were completely removed from the game. which evolved the meta for qualifiers to be built around the slurp cactuses, a form of infinite respawning health. This created two issues. Since the cactuses only spawned in the new biome on the southern part of the map, it gave the teams who landed there a massive advantage. And since the competition brings everything to its optimized endpoint, teams were building a massive base on each cactus and getting low consequence storm surge tags.
Boring.
Many teams built their strategies around this. While the so-called cactus meta was unpopular, often indistinguishable from literal teaming, Fortnite fixing it was somehow more unpopular because the day before grand finals they announced the cactuses would no longer regenerate. This upended a lot of game plans, creating controversy which hurt teams in the southern parts of the map and helped teams like Vico and Flickie, whose game plan didn't purely depend on the cacti. Players would be forced to adapt. While the community was generally outraged by the season, it was intrigued by the fundamental shakeup to competitive that was occurring.
This is about to be one of the hardest to predict grand finals we've ever seen, if not the hardest.
A large chunk of the region's traditional biggest names had gone, but what was going on with the rest? Coming off a second place in the FNCS Global Championship, Cammy and Seti placed third in Major 2, securing their spot to Global Championships. So when it became known they were contested, they had absolutely no incentive to do anything other than grief the team contesting them to protect their spot for Globals. After losing Major 1 by just 1 point and securing their spot in the Global Championships, Thomas HD and Queasy finished 7th while contested in Major 2. Despite that being a quite impressive feat, they did both give off a distinct vibe they were frustrated with the game. Finally, Mustache and Malabuka, who had won Major 1 and placed 6th in Major 2, looked primed to do well as they were landing Redline Rig to get the Shield Medallion and the Mythic Assault Rifle. But what was not clear going into Grand Finals is whether or not they would be contested.
We have EU, Mustache and Malabuka for the exact same reason Peter bought Poyo. They're basically the counterparts on EU. They drop Redline Rig. They're looking extremely dominant. I think they have all the same advantages, and I think they are going to pick up their second FNCS win this chapter. We'll see.
So could the old guard hold their own against the new upstarts? Or was this the new era with new stars? To once more put in perspective what a meteoric rise some of these players have had, we could not find good thumbnail images of them. Game 1 was uneventful, other than Tini being on the wrong side of a highlight clip.
Take a quick replay. No shot. Not missing a single shot. Tini thought he was slick with it.
In endgame, Vico and Flickie are making plays.
Now they're looking height. They need to make that game-winning play.
Yeah, they're looking deep in the zone. They're trying to chop down high ground, not necessarily to overtake it, but to make it easier to fight him at the end. A little bit of refresh mats coming in, needed for Vico and Flickie. Now they can claim just a little bit more space down low at the bottom, but they run into Pablo first. Big elimination being picked up.
And close out the win after some heroics by Vico.
Vico and Flickie are looking unstoppable as now they're forced to make their way on up. This is the play I was talking about. It's on to Pinq. Can he connect his shots? They've overthrown height, but they have to close it out.
It's coming crashing down for a quick second, but they reconnected on the other side. Vico, Flickie saving the dashes for the perfect moment, but Flickie gets beamed out of the sky. Vico's by himself, falling from above like a thunderbolt from the sky. He strikes and takes the game.
And take first. In Game 3, Chap and Tini start to cook.
Chap was just going to go on the chase. Not too many teams land on the southwest portion of the map, so they're just so isolated.
Vico and Flickie go down in endgame.
Trying to break into boxes, catch anybody off guard, and Swizzy's the one.
As Tini and Chap close out the game from height.
For T-Chips, but he's not done yet. Mustache goes down. It's Tini now cleaning up, keeping his duo strong. That's the second elimination. Malabuka is the last player left in zone. How many medkits does he have is the question.
Hopefully he has a bunch, because he needs to outlast the rest of this one closing. One left in the inventory. He knows he has to crash pad towards the front if he wants any hope at this one. Tini, Chap, they go ahead and aim at the sky, and Malabuka falls down from above. They take a huge win, and they take it by force.
jumping into the top 3. In Game 4, Vico goes down after a solo clutch, which expands their lead. In Game 5, Tini and Chap get aggressive.
Like that heal, they're taking their time. They see in the feed a knock happen. The nitros, the patent play from Chap and Tini, they're not letting a ramp stop them, or at least not for now.
Vico and Flicky stay consistent.
And some of the other teams in the lobby, what makes it a real threat, as Cammy and Seti now get focused, not by one, but multiple teams.
As Swizzy and Vanya rain down from height, and the veteran legend Giannis wins.
But he's going up for a quick second. He has the dashes. He left his teammate quickly by himself, but he finally finds a spot above. Pixie goes down. Giannis by himself. 2v1 situation here.
Giannis was unable to assist his duo there. He just could not land on the builds. And now Swizzy and Vanya, all they have to do is connect this last shot. Can Swizzy do it? He cannot. Giannis closes it off and finishes it for the victory royale.
Cammy and Seti cap off a disappointing day 1 by losing off spawn again. This would be the story of their tournament. Swizzy and Vanya make a push in endgame.
Fizz, crash pad. It might be a little bit too late for that unless you're going for high ground, and that's exactly what Kaido and Hydro are going to do.
Flickzy makes plays as a solo.
Here, even Flickzy just trying to go through with just a sliver of actual health and HP. Find some scraps to try to get him, but no builds, fresh out.
Swizzy takes him out before going down. Kaito and Hydro win and are fired up. And after one day, Vico and Flicky narrowly hold first, setting up an incredible day 2, which would have a 1.5 points multiplier. On day 2, Chap and Tini get to business.
Well, his duo heals up. Nice little crack from Chap as he has the opportunity to continue with the aggression. Nitro's popped to grant him that permission. Knock, knock. Looks like it's been a successful engagement for the duo.
I just hope I hope he's not running around anymore. That would have been a perfect time to hide. Chap and Tini, they got aggressive and chased one, and we see them chasing throughout the day yesterday. They said this is an easy elimination. 1.5 time points. We need this, especially if we want to take first. But the Rift is going to keep the chase going.
Just those 2 eliminations, Jacob. 12 points from 2 eliminations if Tini's able to pick this up. 58.
Vico and Flicky keep rolling.
Replay from Vico and Flicky. Slow, ride the wave, but Vico and Flicky, 232 above now. Looks like they might even pick up one more.
Chap and Tini finally go down.
They're trying to surprise attack. That's Vanya on the other side, but they get cut off, cut short. Nebs, Kiduo, they're able to get the knock on to Tini, but it is going to be a trade.
Swizzy and Vanya get opportunistic on low ground.
Rise to the occasion. Vanya, Swizzy, 5 eliminations so far, 96 points to over 100 in this game alone, and they're continuing trying to move forward, but their health, their HP.
And move to second and into striking distance. Vico and Flicky keep rolling. Being uncontested and getting forecast tower every game is an amazing recipe for consistency.
If that is the case, they are going to continue to lead the pack and, you know, sort of try and create distance between them and everyone else.
Tini and Chap take height.
Elevate your position just like this, especially with Chap, Tini in the lobby. They're ready to contest, and they're ready to go all out for it.
Vanya solo clutches before going down. Chap and Tini rain down from height to win.
Going to the radar, but he gets spotted out yet again. Tini looking like he's on a rampage here in the end game. The final 2v1. It's easy as the first. 6 eliminations and a big win.
The top 3 take shape. Vico 1v2's a duo early game.
Placement points even come in, Takata.
You love to see, right? Especially with the buff of those placement points. Quick replay of how Marine ended up getting eliminated to Vico here. Nice little quick cleanup in and out of the box. Even picking up another one. Vico.
And keeps rolling.
That's going down around the map. You know how heated the day is getting, especially for what's up for grabs.
Swizzy and Vanya go down while rotating.
About solos. Swizzy's been knocked down. Vanya left alone with just 30 to 40 HP. So many duos surrounding him as well. Chap, Tini being one of them. They are going to choose to potentially rotate here, though. Still not in zone. Crash pad's going to come through, but the shots are on them.
Chap and Tini cook and get an opportunity when Vico and Flicky go down.
Right, that does not count, because I was just talking about them being the only team, the only full team still left in the game that can kind of contest with this one.
Tini keeps rolling as a solo.
To contest them so far, but it's Tini who's been left alone. He connects his shots, but he's only has 6 builds left, and he's gonna have to drop down soon. For him right now, he cannot go ahead due to having 0 mats. He has to find.
Merstache and Malibuca wake up after a slow start.
With Malibuca and Merstache applying pressure from above, it's gonna be almost impossible
impossible. Elimination comes through, and now Kovacs in the zone trying to make it back.
Yeah, it's not going to be enough. You see him kind of chopping pickaxe and trying to find the heals, and all he finds is Malabuka and Mustache, and they find a 9 elimination victory royale, 156 points. These 1.5 multipliers are going absolutely crazy today.
Chap and Tini narrow the gap, but Vico's dominance is put into perspective. Game 10 was this tournament's greatest game, where we would see the new gods push each other to new heights as Vico and Flickzy start the game strong. Swizzy and Vanya set up for a strong endgame on height.
A mile away, he quickly drops. He knows Malabuka and Mustache are right below, but he also knows he has to keep on rotating. Zone is forcing them in, and with great shots on a Mustache, he tries to follow up on that elimination, but it gets stolen away by Nathan, and he's not wanting to get too greedy. Keep control of the high ground, because there's still teams like Chap and Tini that are waiting. You see them in the corner to chop down the high ground and steal it away.
Which Chap and Tini take.
Elevate themselves, but Chap and Tini have now, it's that point in the game, they're trying to go up, and they know they have some damage spraying down into their boxes, taking different angles, not wanting to let them breathe here in the situation, but they're going to be forced to continue to drop.
But Swizzy tries to take it back.
Yeah, they're not done. They say, give me my height back as the shots connect. Tini now the last person standing up above. They just continue holding their roof, making sure that the bullets don't pass through, but Vanya and Swizzy keep applying that pressure. When is the second retake going to come through?
Which leads to all-out chaos.
High ground, and another crash pad play is coming out. It's getting formulated right now, but Vanya sees it coming. Great defensive fire yet again. Tini's gonna get dropped. The defense is looking real for Swizzy and Vanya, but Chap is not done just yet. He knows there was a lot of damage that got dealt out just a few seconds ago. He's got to guess that they're weak on builds as well. Another shot being fired. Swizzy's down. Vanya strikes, but he goes down as well.
That Vico and Flickzy benefit from.
Or the
taking the win.
Hey, if any time is to prove you're a formidable opponent, it's this one. But Vico with the quick shutdown, Flickzy with the high ground. They get both of the eliminations on Nathan and CZB. They win the game, and they've extended their lead further.
And expanding their lead to 100. Vico and Flickzy keep rolling.
Oh, they see two teams fighting out. That's just easy pickings. Wow. Easy. No one even expected them to be there, so that's one elimination. Go Stormy just trying to hide behind the vet. Nah, we saw you. No hiding for you.
Chap and Tini take out Thomas HD and Queasy, who struggled, placing in 35th. Chap and Tini take height, desperately trying to close out the game.
Into play, night zone, that's when you're gonna start watching the clock, but everything comes crashing down.
But Vico is in the zone.
More Pixies down below in the dirt. Sky's close by building, but he gets the double edit.
And Chap gets left as a solo. Vico goes down, leaving Flickzy to clutch.
Vico and Flickzy are both up, but it's Malabuka and Mustache contesting them on high.
Going down and giving Chap a small window, as Mustache and Malabuka win again.
And Vidil down below in the dirt. It's come down to a 2v2.
It's looking like a back-to-back here with Reason going down. They finally make the final drop. Vidil scrambling around, and they do it. 8 eliminations.
Getting into the top 3 with Vico and Flickzy's lead seeming insurmountable. With the tournament all but wrapped up, Game 12 did have some highlight moments, like Tini in his bag.
Tini and Chap are closing in on the distance. A nice shot there on the splash, the nitro to make it easy for the knock to come in.
Here, let's take a look at what just happened with Tini. He got put into pressure, but it was no issue, as he was actually the one to secure the knock.
And Vanya also in his bag.
Nation's taking it away from Venno, who had 40 the last time, but Swizzy's down. That's an open leaderboard spot, possibly up for grabs. Vanya.
With Chap and Tini on height, Vico goes down, opening the narrowest window.
Alone, this is everything for Chap and Tini. Flickzy cannot let himself go down.
But Flickzy solo clutches, collecting over 30 points to maintain their buffer.
He's letting everybody take each other out. Those placement points mean too much, because there's even 2 more placements that he's but he finally gets taken down.
Chap and Tini win the game, ending an incredible tournament.
Map, unless they go berserk, but Chap goes down. Tini gets the elimination. 1v2 situation, or it's actually going to be a 1v1. Can he win this game? That's 6 points. That's 18 for the placement on top of what he has. He's dancing around, but he's getting slowed down by focus. Until then, the final elimination it is. 7 on top of the win, but is it going to be enough?
But cannot catch Vico and Flickzy. After an incredible journey, they were thrilled to finally win an elusive championship.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! The fucking goats! Oh my god!
He's getting through. Oh my god.
Geht Zeit zum FNTasia-Win.
Chap and Tini and Swizzy and Vanya round out the top 3, and Malibuca and Mustache surging up the leaderboard on the back of a strong day 2. Cammy and Seti would fall to 48th, turning their attention to globals, though they did take a chance to flex on the team that contested them. Going into the global championship, Swizzy and Vanya had a major setback, as Vanya has been unable to secure a work visa to enter and compete in the US. The Stoic philosopher Seneca said every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. So let us take a moment to appreciate this new beginning, and most importantly, appreciate the terrible seasons FNCS that transformed EU forever. Like, sub, and check out our other videos.